Good evening, ladies, gents, race fans, and birthday well wishers, and welcome to an unbelievably special event, the second of the evening, to celebrate the birthday of Mr. HFG himself. It's Jeff Trocchio's birthday, and a huge freaking grid event it is with. And it is a huge freaking honour to be here, calling the action along with Kain
Hello.
as we take you through all the action from the second race this evening. And it's going to be a birthday bonanza as Jeff does, has gone all out and laid on a birthday spread to rival any as he's treating the drivers and viewers to 90 minutes around my beloved Spa. This evening's race at the moment, I think we have 36 cars ready to take part. We'll get the breakdown of that as soon as we can. And it is going to be a duel around this 1920s Art Deco classic of a track for all our viewing pleasure. Luckily, joining me will be a man more than capable of keeping track of every single car, every overtake, every pit stop, curb cut and chicane shenanigans. It's Kain Denham.
Good evening again, everyone, and hello. Welcome to all the viewers tonight. We're back again, John. We're pumped. I'm pumped again. We had a fantastic race one. We're here for another spectacular edition at Spa. It is, of course, the Half Fast Gaming huge freaking grid birthday party for Jeff. We need to update this, 82 mixed car grid, full of eager drivers ready to go. We do have confirmed his 90 minutes pure racing around this 4.3 mile picturesque Belgium classic Spa, as you mentioned. And we do have one very excitable Scotsman ready to resume his love affair with this spectacular track.
Yes, indeed. It's going to be another absolute spectacle here in Belgium. Eau Rouge, Radion, the Kemmel, Straight, Lacombe, Bruxelles, Campus, Stavelot, Blanchimont, and of course the corner where it all happened in the first race, La Source. And not only a lot of action on track, it certainly promises to be all kinds of fun, for you and I, Kane, keeping up with all the action that's on the track. As I can see him frantically doing numbers in the background, trying to work out how many cars we've got.
Yeah, maybe John can take over there.
Yeah.
On our toes, we surely will be tonight, John. Rundown of the grid originally showed plenty of extra cars out there, but what we do have is 10 Ferraris still, so you will be very happy to see still 10 Ferraris out there on track. We've got only 2 of the Audis currently out there. We'll run through the McLarens. It looks like
4 McLarens, 3 McLarens we've got in the GT3s and 2 GT4 McLarens. So the McLaren making a good showing with 4 Aston Martin GT3s on display. We've seen some action earlier on with the Aston Martins and the Bentleys, Kane. So it looks like that could be continued between those 2 particular cars as well. And a nice mix there in the GT4s as well.
Absolutely, John. Yeah, a couple of Porsche there in the GT3s. Got the one Chevy there. BMW making an appearance twice. Got the Soul Mercedes. Got the Aston out there as well. The lone Porsche in the GT3, which is surprising, had quite a number in the previous edition, the European edition of this race. So, yeah, still quite a mix of cars out there, and still going to be plenty of work for us, keeping us on our toes.
Yes, indeed it is. I was hoping Jeff would jump in and say a quick hello before he went live, but he has. We've had a few technical issues this evening. The first race didn't exactly start smoothly, and the second broadcast didn't exactly start smoothly either. But what we do have for you lucky people, live and definitely not using green screen, a live interview with the birthday boy himself. So here he is, Jeff, saying a quick hello and keeping us up to date with everything he's got going on. Good evening. Thank you very much, Kane. I am indeed live in Massachusetts with the birthday boy himself. It is Jeff, 42 years old. He is, 42 years young. The man at the moment. So, Jeff, give us a quick tell us about yourself.
Well, thanks, John. I am been a fan of motorsports for quite a long time. I have a wife and a son who is 4 years old. We're trying to get him into the business as well. So yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. So, 4-year-old son and wife, happy family man, and I love a motorsport. Any particular motorsport? GT3s, I'm guessing, or something else in there, perhaps?
Well, I do love some GT racing, but I came about on the Formula One train probably around 1988. Our earliest memories are from me and my brothers getting down super early on the Sunday morning to watch on ESPN at
Wow,
4 a.m. in the morning. So
that is dedication.
yeah, we live about 6 hours away from the Canadian Grand Prix, so we're excited to get back there when it reopens.
Nice. Have you had many visits there before?
My brother's been every year since 2016, and I've been 3 times since.
Oh, nice. Very nice, very nice. And does your car history, is that something that reflects your love of speed? Type of cars is it Jeff drives about in?
Yeah, well, I do. I did start with a Nissan 240SX, which is a Silvia for the folks in the UK and
Nice.
Europe. But now I drive a BMW 328i.
Ooh, up a few levels from the this that, and that's for sure. So your computer days, obviously, everyone knows you. Half of your followers are going to know you from the racing. Half of your followers are going to know you from the modding side of things. Which one came first? Which did Jeff do first, racing or modding? How did it all start?
Well, the racing I think started a long time ago. Um, that was on the Apple IIe with Test Drive in 1986. But
Wow.
um, I've done a lot of racing games since then. But realistically, in the past near about 6 years now, I've been working on modding for American Truck Simulator. So a lot of following on Facebook there, and I've learned a little bit about 3D modeling and Blender as a tool to do all those things.
Okay, Blender. I've had a bit of fun with that myself. So 3D modeling, it does sound like it's. I mean, I've watched some of your videos, obviously, and it's some complex stuff you do there. What is the sort of average time scale? I mean, I know that's how long is a bit of string, but sort of what is your average time scale you're looking at for some of these projects that we see you doing on YouTube, Jeff?
Well, particularly the one that's most popular for me is the Project 3XX, which is um, Peterbilt used in the late 80s, early 90s, kind of one cab configuration. Everything's a little bit different than it is in Europe with you can change hoods here because we have the longer hoods and less cab overs like you guys have.
Okay.
Um, so they would just stick a different hood on the truck to make it like a for a different task. So I've been working on this particular truck, which is going to be 8 different hoods in the end. I have six down, 2 to go, and I've been working since 2018 on it. So it takes a good amount of time, especially when you have a family and an actual other job.
Yeah, that's dedication right there. Wow, that's since 2018. Gee, that's 3 years.
Yep.
That's yeah, a lot of time. So in that time, I take it you've maybe perhaps don't want to say a worst, but there's bound to be a favourite and perhaps a least favourite over the years in that collection.
Well, yeah, I think um, my favorite. Well, let's start with the worst first. We'll leave the positive for the end.
Yeah.
The worst is probably the Freightliner I worked on probably for about 6 months or so. I worked with a model that was released, and after I had spent that 6 months and got all kinds of parts made and things working, he came back and said, "You know what? I've updated this, and all those dimensions are wrong." So, and you're coming from a group of people that basically get out of their truck at night and then drive on this trucking game. So they're expecting some realism here. So having it be the wrong dimensions, I just basically stuck it in the bin for now.
Uh, yeah, that is a painful one. Wow, that's a lot of
Yeah.
time down the train for someone to, yeah, just a few wrong dimensions. Yeah, and yet, like you say, they definitely want the realism, the truckers, when they're coming on to play American Truck Simulator, so definitely would be important. So we'll move swiftly on from that one then. What about your favourite? What's been Jeff's pièce de résistance?
I think I mean, Project 3XX is up there, but it's been in development for quite a long time. So I'm going to say there's a.
Good evening. Thank you very much, Kain. I am indeed live in Massachusetts with the birthday boy himself. It is Jeff, 42 years old. He is, sorry, 42 years young. The man at the moment. So, Jeff, give us a quick tell us about yourself.
Well, thanks, John. I am been a fan of motorsports for quite a long time. I have a wife and a son who is 4 years old. We're trying to get him into the business as well. So yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. So, 4-year-old son and wife, happy family man, and I love a motorsport. Any particular motorsport? GT3s, I'm guessing, or something else in there, perhaps?
Well, I do love some GT racing, but I came about on the Formula One train probably around 1988. Our earliest memories are from me and my brothers getting down super early on the Sunday morning to watch on ESPN at 4 a.m. in the morning. So
that is dedication.
Yeah, we live about 6 hours away from the Canadian Grand Prix, so we're...
Good evening once again. Sorry about that, folks. The joys of live television. For some reason, that interview decided to restart. So what we'll do is, we'll play it at the end of the show. Sorry about that. Some fascinating stuff to come there from Jeff as well, telling us all about himself, and a big thanks to his patrons and everything as well. We didn't want to let it run on too long though, because we didn't want to completely miss the end of qualifying, so I do apologise. I don't know what happened there, but it restarted. But we are back with the on-track action. The GT4s are qualifying at the moment. It is a split qualifying session because of the power difference between the two classes of car. I can tell you, it is actually someone very well known to Kain and I, Albi Alvarez. Alberto, 2 minutes 18.1 was his qualifying time, 1.1 seconds slower in the first heat, the Europeans. And it is his SOP teammate, Adrian Bourdon, who is 4/10 behind him on the front row of the grid in second place. That's a Ferrari lockout with the front row. Team Ferrari. I'd love to see it. And then we've got Michael Artem and Freitas, whose first name I'm absolutely not going to butcher, Matthias. Sorry. I know you've got your brother racing. Oh, sorry, the Freitas, they're not related actually. We've got a couple of drivers. There's actually another two drivers, Kain, in the race who've got exactly the same name, and they're driving exactly the same car. Is that correct?
That was correct, John, in our pre-race
Wow, okay.
research.
Okay.
I think we've lost both of them.
Ah, okay then. So
Currently,
let me just wrap that up and throw it in the bin.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll do that, we'll do that. The birthday boy, Jeff Trocchio, that's who we're all here to see. He qualified 14th for this race at the minute, so we're going to see him starting from there. We've got Bradbury and Smelly in 17th and 18th, and Bradbury again in 19th. Matthews down in 20th, the last driver for the GT3s, although I do think we've seen, am I right in thinking, Kain, we've seen, yes we have indeed, Max Sunfenlap, sorry, has done a Jens Harris and hasn't set a qualifying time in a GT3 car, so we'll start from the back of the grid. Let's see how it's going for Shane Jordan though. Currently on pole position as far as the GT4 cars are concerned. Still out on track looking to set a lap. A fair 1.9 seconds ahead of Chavez in the Porsche. So Alex really got his work cut out for him if he's going to close that gap. Much closer back to Garrett Cahill and Anthony Perez at the moment. Chris Takari and Matthew Mudd both could be very, very quick. And of course, not on track at the moment. Look at that stunning livery. That is, of course, a Jackie Harris Racing original. Oh, yeah. Jackie has set a time, currently 29th. Could still be overtaken. Chavez doesn't improve at all. Neither does Jordan either. So Shane Jordan will lead the way at the moment, unless Garrett Cahill can do something about that. No. Nope, so it looks like it's going to be Jordan leading the way in the GT4s. Although in saying that, Reed Aldred in a McLaren. In fact, the only two cars on track are McLarens, and there we go. There we go, there we go, there we go. So, pole position for the GT3s is Alberto Alvarez. And let me just, this is always the fun bit. Let's do that and that. There we go. And that brings that back again. So it's Alberto Alvarez, an SOP teammate. Ferrari lockout of the front row of the grid. Kain, does it get any better than that? The correct answer is no.
Not for Mr. Simon, boss. We will possibly be waking up and watching, or you should be getting alerts for this to be watching now, as we do see the SOP lockout front row for the start of this 90-minute race now. All action to go. We've got plenty of love in the chat for Nicholas Blanchet. Blanchet, let me butcher that. Correct me when I'm wrong. I'm going to get lots of hate soon. But yes, plenty of love out there for Nicholas in that Ferrari. So starting from 5th place at the moment. Interesting to see how the start goes for these guys. As we said, Alberto Alvarez on pole. Relatively quick time there as well. Not quite as fast as we've seen in the previous race, but we are still locked and loaded, ready to go for 90 minutes of pure action, John.
Yeah, we really are. A stunning grid of 31 cars here at the 4.3 mile circuit. That is my spiritual second home. That's right, it's Spa, Radion, Eau Rouge. Yep, let's just leave it there. The rest of the world famous corners. Yeah, that's the two that we all know and love, and we're going to see some action there straight away. Of course, this is where the race starts. It ends just up there round to the left. It's a different finish line to the start line, so the first thing the drivers will be doing is facing their way up, Eau Rouge and Radion. As we can see there, they've got a full formation lap to go and a minute left. We'll bring you some more info on Jeff as just some more information on Jeff as well. That was a real tongue twister for no reason whatsoever. It is, of course, Jeff Trocchio's birthday. As he was saying in the interview, he was looking for some place to race, so he set up HFG Racing on top of his HFG modding of the trucks on American Truck Simulator and European Truck Simulator, all of which would have been covered in the interview had it not restarted. Thank you, Streamlabs. 29 seconds before we go. Who else have we got in the chat? Let us know if you're in the chat. Who should be keeping an eye on race-wise? Who is going to do well come the end? Dan Bradbury, Drew Matthews, Shane Jordan, the man leading the GT4s. Alex Chavez joining him on the front row of that little competition. Garrett Cahill and Alexander Afonso locking out row 2 for the GT4 cars. 31 cars on track. There was a bit of a coming together on lap 1 just at the top of this hill on the Kemmel Straight, Kain. It cannot be overstated just how difficult an opening lap Spa really is. I mean, you talk about turn 1 at Monza, but really lap 1 at Spa is an absolute testing ground for drivers, real and sim.
Absolutely. Never fails to disappoint, does the first lap at Spa. Such a long straight. They head through Eau Rouge. Fairly tame. They try to that first time, and then everybody's full throttle all the way to the first chicane there. So very tricky braking section to get right. Heavy under the fuel loads. Cold on the brakes. Cold on the tyres. And plenty of aerodynamics floating about, proving all sorts of chaos for these guys. Heard briefly in the chat after race 1 that a couple of the guys on Logitech have had some driver updates that may have caused some carnage in and amongst that first race too, so hopefully no more of that tonight. But guys are set off slowly on the formation lap, getting the tyres all warmed up, or should be getting the tyres all warmed up, doing the right things.
Yeah, definitely. Brakes as well, Kain. I've always said this as well, warming up the brakes on your out lap, that is on your warm-up lap, that is absolutely the most important thing you can do at this stage, yeah?
Absolutely. Big on brakes warming. Yeah, absolutely great idea. Some more love in the chat here for Mike Mutu. Got his brother in here watching and cheering him on along with Jonah Camps, here to support Mutu from Trinidad. Watching from Trinidad, so plenty of love out there for Mutu. Starting from 11th today. In that Ferrari, John, so no doubt we will see plenty of the number 77 out there today. It does have the Granting horse there, so John will find it in stream.
And it's got the year I was born, which is one of my lucky racing numbers. So again, all the more reason for Mr. Mutu to be given some camera time there in that beautiful prancing horse Ferrari. 5 Ferraris in the top 6. I may have died and gone to commentary heaven here at Spa. It's good to see that the stream name still hasn't updated. Wow. Let me just see. Honestly, you've got to love technology. You've got to love technology. Thank you, Mark Mutu. Go Mutu. That's my brother, Just Barn as well. Watching from Trinidad, as Kain was saying. Beppy Felicia in the chat. Good evening, good evening. Mariano Knapp, good evening. How well doing? Come on, Nicholas Blash, as Kain was saying earlier. The chat is alive. Grande El Tiburon from Mariano Knapp to begin with. So yeah, great to see everyone in the chat. Who do we think's going to win the race? Who do we think's going to do well in the GT4 class or in the GT3 class? Who is it you're here to cheer on? Shane Jordan is the man in pole position for the GT4s. And I'll tell you what, it is an SOP lockout on the front row of the grid. 2 Ferraris, Alberto Alvarez and Adrien Bourdon coming through Blanchimont. This is the absolute slowest. They will do that for the next hour and a half. You better believe that. They've got a mandatory pit stop as well. And now it occurs to me I was supposed to be doing something as well. Wasn't it, Kain? I do apologise. I forgot to put that video on.
No, John, we've been through this. We're going to play that video later.
Yes, we are. There we go. Just make sure that happens there. So yes, so they're coming along now into Le Source, side by side. I would say Ferrari, Ferrari, Audi, Ferrari, Ferrari, Ferrari. That is going to be fun, and there's more Ferraris in the making just behind them. Let's have a look, let's have a look. Who else have we got? I'm trying to find. Where is Shane? 21st, there he is. And of course the GT4 selection of cars on display. They're all coming around the source now, which means any second now we're going to get ourselves a green flag and the start of some serious action. Buckle up, ladies and gents. It's 29 degrees on track. It's 4 miles. It's an hour and a half. There's a mandatory pit stop. There's 31 cars in 2 classes. We've already got a drive-through for being out of position on the start. That's a GT4 car. Albie holds on to the lead. Adrian just about holding on to second place. He's got all kinds of pressure from the out. Oh no, in fact, Freitas has made the move. Matthias has already made the move on the Audi. And I'll tell you what, Nicholas is looking lively in there as well. How close are those cars? Let's just get a look at how close they are. There we go. Very close indeed coming into Lacombe. It's Albie, and I tell you what, Freitas is absolutely on the charge. He's made it up to second place. We can't jump on board with him because the timing board is updating left, right and centre as soon as it's done so, but I can absolutely assure you that Matthias Freitas has taken second place. He is absolutely... Oh no, he's not. He's not, Kain. He's made a fool of me.
Yeah.
Adrian has defended that beautifully, Kain. Oh, background.
No, it was move done and then move taken back. So Adrian seen the move come in, allowed for it, straight back on the switchback and got him very next corner. So seen it coming, and Adrian's very wise. We've seen him on track plenty of times. So Ferrari there, 833 Ferrari there, taking the position back relatively easy. But yeah, Freitas is very, very quick at the moment. So look to see how that develops as we go on.
Yeah, and I tell you what, it is. Adrian's got the move done again. Sorry, though you're right, he's back in front, so the timing board hasn't quite updated yet. There we go. That's the timing board updating to confirm what Kain very correctly reported. So opening lap, we've seen a couple of small incidents there in the background. Didn't look any major, certainly compared to what went on earlier. We've got Specto on Argitsu, sorry. This is Aston Martin. Oh, they're going to go side by side into Blanchimont on lap 1. Where Angels fear to tread. There's no point in flashing your lights if you're side by side. You can't see that. He's gone right round the outside. The steers are definitely going to have a look at that. Somebody's pulled up as well. Wow, so he really did carry pace in there. See how much he closed up there and actually completely overtook that Ferrari. So that was Mutu, in fact, I believe. Is that Mutu? No, he's in the pink Ferrari, of course. So who's that just ahead of him? It's Brad Smoke, sorry. Yes, it is.
Quinn and Brad Smoke in front there.
Yes, it is. It is Brad Smoke there. So he really didn't get a good run through Blanchimont and was completely taken over by those cars there. Why are the shadows taking so long to come into play? Let's have a look at the leader of the race. So it's Alberto Alvarez leading the way. Adrian Bourdon. Ooh, he's side by side. He's side by side. They're going to come into Lecumbe. And he's going to go round the outside. Adrian tries to cut back. Doesn't quite have the track to do it though. And it is Fritas back into second place. Adrian down to third. Artem then. He's watching this intently thinking, one of these days, lads, one of these days. Nicholas Blash is just in the back. The Sky Tempesta Racing. Argentinian, great to see a really wide spread of nationalities. We've got racing here this evening for Jeff's huge freaking grid birthday bash. A little group of cars tucked in behind as well. This is Blaine Hall that we're on board with. In fact, there is Blaine. Hasn't been racing long. Kain, I can let you on a secret. This young driver on screen is actually Altruit from the stream earlier. So this is the driver who's saying they were very nervous, hadn't been driving for long, and I'll tell you what, 6th position at the moment. So yeah, we may have uncovered ourselves a hidden gem. Before I let you say anything, let me just cut you off because Brad Smoke has got himself a very interesting view in the rear view mirror. That is Martin Flynn and Mike Mutu. The Aston Martin and the Ferrari drivers battling it out for position. Just in there, it is nip and tuck with the slipstream here. Let's have a look at Adrian Bourdon then. Why is my... that... It's my alarm clock from the interview last night. I love to see it. Adrian Bourdon is still looking to make a move. He's on to defend and attack there. Artem in the background there. Matt in the Audi is looking very quick indeed. And tell you, Nicholas is getting very close there as well, and so is Blaine closing that gap. Steve Endres is very close indeed. Louis Argitsu is just in behind, and I'll tell you what, there's all kinds of action going on here then. Brad Smoke's finding himself under all kinds of pressure from Martin Flynn. Mike Mutu, sorry, looks like he's putting the moves on Martin Flynn. So who is that that's got through then? There's an Aston Martin out of position here. Is that Andreas Specht? It is. So Andreas has managed to sneak his way back up there. Oh, bit of a side by side. Doesn't get the run through, and it's Martin Flynn that's going to take that position. And I'll tell you what, Mike Mutu is going to get the move done as well. Or is he? It's a drag race. Ferrari versus Aston Martin, and it's the Ferrari that's going to come out on top. And we see moves. Brad Smoke, is he going to go around the outside into Lecumbe? Oh, and they've slightly misjudged that. Oh, bit of a knock-on effect there. It's very difficult to re-correct your direction if you suddenly, in your field of vision, spy a couple of spinning cars. And that's certainly what's happened there, Kain. It's caught a couple of drivers out. We saw some action in La Source, but it seems like Lecumbe might be a tough one for the drivers here in the Americas edition.
Yeah, not a good ideal second, third lap there. But still plenty of time here for these guys to get back on track here. Just briefly going through other things, John. So you caught me well and truly unawares just now.
Yeah, no problem at all. That's fine, because we're going to jump on board with Shane Jordan, of course, the driver that led the GT4s. He out-qualified the rest of the GT4 drivers by a good second. He finds himself down in third. So there's definitely been comings together there. I think he is carrying a bit of damage on that car. Oh no, it actually looks as clean as a whistle. Three perhaps has just been well and truly done by Alex Chavez then, because he is the GT4 driver that's in the lead. It's not exactly a good lead or a big lead at the moment. He's got Andre Afonso and Shane Pole Sitter Jordan just in behind them. But the battle between these two drivers could well be what Alex needs to break away from the two of them and hopefully stretch out his legs. Vanesh as well is looking very quick as well. He is all over the back of Jackie Harris, a man who got a massive shout out in that interview, which unfortunately got cut short. We will play at the end. Please do make sure you stay and watch it. There's some great stuff there from Jeff about what he's got going on. I can see his partner in crime here, Jackie Harris. He has just come through Stavolo. They're going to come towards Blanchimont. We didn't get a three-way sandwich in the first race, GT4 on GT3. And this is 3 GT4 cars coming through. Oh, Jackie runs it a bit wide there, manages to hold it though. The killer curbs, as anyone that watched the first race was definitely a thing, and we could see that more and more this evening as well. I'm assuming it is evening for everyone. Of course, my co-commentator Kain is in Australia, so it's like the morning. He's in the future, so he already knows the result of this race. Was it a good one, Kain?
It's always a good one. Always. I'm very good at keeping the secret.
You really are. He still won't
Alberto's
send me
lost
the
some time,
numbers. Sorry, I was going to crack a joke about lottery numbers, but sorry. Tell me something sensible, Kain. Alberto losing time.
Looks like it.
Oh! I'll tell you what it looks like. You've seen the damage he's carrying. Look at that. I think Alberto's sort of coming together with well. Look at his front bonnet. There is actual separation. His front bonnet is looking very, very, very squint indeed. In fact, I'm sure if we go at bonnet cam, in fact, tell you what, let's. Oh, why is that not working?
Oh, yeah, big incident there, John. Missed the breaking point.
Oh.
Possibly missed the breaking point. Got it all wrong heading into Lacombe's and on the exit.
Lacombe.
Heading.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep, again. So I think it was just past that, closer to Malmedy, but not a good start there for Alberto. That's going to be some heavy damage in the pits, and he's already falling down the pack.
Oh yeah.
Down into 6th position at the moment. So yeah, real struggle in his hands just to get that thing back to the pit. And still almost, just over half a lap left to get that back to the pit. In fact, we've had a return.
No, he just drove in. I just spectated him. He just drove into the pits. I just watched Albie drive in. So yeah, we were on board there with him as he came through the last chicane, and he was overtaken by Endres, Hall, Speck, Flynn, and Trocchio, who are all very, very, very close again. Up right on the Rouge. That's the one, Jeff. Oh, he gets himself a great run as we see them coming along at the Kemmel Straight, as we hear the Flying Doctors making their mandatory appearance while Kain tries to commentate. Thank you very much, chaps and chapettes. Keep up the good work saving lives there in Australia. Lacombe, we see them come in. Oh, and there another car. It's Flynn this time. What is going on with Lacombe? Someone has put oil on the track. Flynn makes himself a mistake. Trocchio's eyes light up. Nice little birthday present here for Jeff, if he can get a position off the back of that mistake. And I tell you what, Speck has not done himself any favours. He's run way too wide coming through there, and he's not caught enough curb there. Is he going to get enough on the right hand side? He does there, so he's recovering that one the best that he can. Alvarez is still in the pits, so is Guy Smelly. He has joined him in the pits as well. Mike Mutu did look like he was about to make an overtake. I think he has. No, he's not. Oh, has he? Brad Smoke dropped down the order a bit? He has. So what's happened there? There's another car just behind Mike at the moment. I can't figure out who that is. That's an out of position Ferrari. We'll try and work that one out in a moment. It's Adrian Borden though, teammate of the driver we saw take a massive hit and have to come into the pits very early indeed. A fair bit of damage here going to need to be replaced. We saw Freitas and Borden battling early doors for second and third. Well, they're now battling for first and second. Only Matt Artem is popping his little Audi nose in there as well. Very close, as you can see, in the braking zones, just how close they are. So vitally important Source corners like Source become. You really need to get the power down very, very smoothly, and we can see an absolute procession there. The Audi not taking full advantage of the slipstream there, and for very good reason. You don't want to do what the Ferrari just did, and that is have a massive wiggle going up there, because you will lose a bit of time. Although he looks like he's actually recovered that, and I'm going to call that stupidity on the commentator's behalf, because he's absolutely nailed that and increased the gap back to the Audi. That was, of course, Alberto Alvarez, we just saw leaving the pits there after having to come in to get that damage repaired. Let's jump back on board with Andreas Specht. Oh no, that was never going to work out well. Oh, and that is unfortunate. That is unfortunate, that one, Kain. Coming into Lacombe. If only someone had warned the drivers about that corner. Looks like that was another bit of a coming together there with the GT4 car. Double knock-on effect, and we lose 2 drivers.
Yeah, definitely not ideal. Camel Straight proving all the difficulty here today. I'm just trying to catch a replay of that. One of the cars just coming out of the pits there, trying to get back online and get in the braking zone with Guy Smelly. Couple of cars right next to him in a train that weren't seen, so a little bit of disappointment there for all cars involved. Hopefully everyone escaped relatively.
Hopefully no wrists or thumbs were damaged by direct drive wheels in the making of this incident. I think is what we're
Yes.
pretty much. There we go. GT4 car gets out of the way for the battle for the lead through Blanchimont. Borden closes up, but it's not going to be anywhere near enough. Getting that close in the braking zone just means the gap's going to extend when they put the foot back down. The Audi, it does seem to be dropping a bit off the back, but with the battle going on here, anything is possible. Our birthday boy, though, ooh, he's still getting all kinds involved, and so is Martin Flynn and Blaine Hall. Flynn is looking for the moves. Oh, he has to back out with that one there, and that's put him right in the clutches of Jeff, the birthday boy then. Oh, Jeff, get in the slipstream and drag him into turn 1. Go on, son. Go on, Jeff. Jeff, 42 years young today. Put on the huge freaking grid, and he's getting all kinds of involved in his Bentley. Absolutely loving his time on track right now, I can assure you. And it's the Aston Martin he's taking. And that is a sensible line to take there. Doesn't get into the slipstream until the last second. You don't want to be carrying more speed than you need. It is very difficult to get up through that corner. It's actually a life-affirming achievement if you can get up there 3 times in a row, flat out. Never actually managed it myself, but one day you never know. Argitsu is in the McLaren. We didn't see much McLaren action in the first race. We're certainly going to see a bit of it in this race, as Louis is looking very quick indeed. And I've just put myself on mute to tap my space bar and started speaking while I'm still on mute. So let's start that one again. Argitsu in the McLaren. He has just got the move done on Christopher Beckel then, in the Aston Martin from the Optimum Racing team. Another cracking me in-game livery there. Oh, there's that fly that was bothering me earlier, Kain. I asked you to swat that thing for me. Honestly, you had one job. You had one job. Jeff Trocchio, oh, has a bit of a wiggle there. And some dust kicked up from just in front of him. He's got Mike Mutu in behind him. He is looking to ruin this particular birthday parade. Let's jump on board to helmet cam in the Ferrari and get a look and see just how close these drivers are getting. Of course, they've got the GT4 just getting out their way there. Excellently done. Oh no, that's Hall. Oh, was that a legitimate overtake there? Oh no, that's just the timing boards updating that Blaine Hall has dropped down. Honestly, the timing boards on this game really do make it very difficult to keep up with what's going on sometimes. Trocchio stretching his legs though. He's leaving Mutu behind at the moment. 8th place at the moment for the birthday boy. He'll be delighted if he can get himself into the top 10. We will get a word with him before the interview at the end, so do make sure you stick around for that. He's got a lot of people he'd like to say thank you to. I'm sure you'd like to see it. Hi everyone in the chat, by the way. I don't actually have the chat open. Oh, I do have the chat open at the moment. How are we all doing? How are we all doing? Blash, I love you. Blash the breast man. Viril, the real racer. Blash, Abs, Blash. Yeah, he's getting all the love in the chat. Where has he gone actually? Is he taking his pit stop? What's happened?
Apparently in 4th position at the moment still, John.
Oh, of course, so he is. Yep, sorry. On you go, Kain.
Just heading into the deadly Lacooms section of the track today proved all the drama, not the source, as the previous race showed.
Yeah, certainly seemed to be
Matthias
where it was.
Freitas out in front still. Got plenty of pressure from Bourdain, but these guys have been fighting it out for the majority of this race so far.
Yeah, they definitely. Who's singing Baby Shark in the chat? Seriously, banned. It's my favourite drive, says Daniel. How you doing, Daniel? Welcome to the chat. Just Baran. Good luck, everyone. Hope it's a clean race. We always hope for a clean race. Good evening, everyone in the chat. Thanks for staying up, whatever time zone you are in. My time zone, 2:15 in the morning. Kane's time zone, 10:15 in the morning. Of course, in the Americas, where Jeff is based in Massachusetts. It is a nice, leisurely 8 o'clock in the evening, I believe. So yeah, people from all around the world, all different time zones, all getting together and enjoying some of this on-track action, all to celebrate the birthday of Jeff Trocchio. He is, of course, the man that put it on. If you want to get involved in any of Jeff's racing, Half Fast Gaming on Discord, or Half Fast Gaming on the interweb, the old .com-aroo, jump on Google, you find them there. Oh, in fact, tell you what, let's just pay a bit of attention to what's going on track here, sorry. I'm trying to find, Blaine Hall. Oh, and he's run a bit wide. The McLaren is going to have a very good run on him here. Again, stays out of the slipstream a bit too long for my liking. If you're going to get the move there, you want to be in the... So now he's got to pull back into the slipstream. At a very difficult part of the track to maintain the slipstream. That's what happens when you carry too much speed. You run behind, you get a slap on the wrists from the stewards, and you're left to battle through a chicane. And all that's done is let Becco in behind him, close the gap. Brad Smoke still in attendance as well. He'll be looking to take back a couple of places as and when he can. Coming into Le Source, it is Hall and Argitsu. And it looks like we've got a reunion. Was it Florentina and Unhill, I believe, earlier on, Kane? We absolutely could not separate those two drivers. And it looks like this Ferrari and McLaren are quite keen on holding hands for the rest of the race here. Absolutely inseparable. Wow, from the two of them.
Yeah, absolutely, providing plenty of action out there today as they head up the hill again onto Camel. It's 9:14 in Trinidad, where we're supporting Mutu tonight. So join the chat again.
Oh, nice. Is that 9:14 AM or PM? I'm assuming that's PM. Oh,
PM.
no! He's binned it. Blaine Hall, curse of the commentator. He said to me before the race he was worried about the curse of the commentator. And there you go, just on the exit. Tilly Coombe. That section really is proven difficult. It just goes to show you, Ken, the difference between European and American drivers. La Source for the Europeans is like kryptonite. Lacombe for the Americans, it's like kryptonite. It's unbelievable. We've seen so many. We're only 21 minutes into this race. Sorry, we will get back to the time zone discussion in a minute. But Lacombe, 21 minutes in, mate, and we've already seen 5 incidents with drivers inside the top 15 dropping it at that particular corner. It's incredible.
Yeah, big changes in the two races, definitely. Blaine Hall's done well to keep that off the wall, though. Just a little bit of dirt in the tyres, so he should be good to go without any damage, hopefully, unless I missed something beforehand. Let's hope not. But yeah, so hopefully not too much on the cards for Blaine. 10 seconds loss, so a little bit of time getting out of that dirt, but still ready to go, and in 14th position. So only the one pit stop being made by Alberto Alvarez at the start of the race there due to that damage. So
Oh, yeah.
wherever he is, currently in 25th position. So back on the charge, and commentator, he's got a 360, he's going to keep that going. Oh my goodness, replayed that.
Oh, wow. Code Brown, Code Brown. Clean up an aisle 4, clean up an aisle 4. Anybody that doesn't know what happened there, as I was trying to figure out where Albie Alvarez was to jump on board to see what happened, the two Aston Martins we were watching came flying past. And I'll tell you what, Denise Pope in the race earlier, she posted a clip, got onto her Twitter page and go and have a look. Exactly the same thing, car spinning at the top of Radion, and it was very nearly good night Irene for Andrea Speck and Steve Erndris, but they both make it through somehow. Sorry, that was incredible, Kain. The reflexes from both those drivers to miss that Ferrari. That's Jedi Ninja material right there, surely.
Yeah, and I watched it purely from the Ferrari's point of view, and the level, the dedication there to keep that off the walls. There's all sorts of hopes and prayers have gone out with that one and been answered because he's kept it. That was race over material, that. So yeah, huge action there. Always keeps us on our toes. Radion and Eau Rouge, huge. John's chuckling, but it is
Oh,
right
yeah.
with John.
20 past 2. Don't sell me short, bro. Don't sell me short. We're on board with Brad Smoke, though. Driving a Ferrari again. And it's good to see that even we didn't have as many drivers in the race as we thought. We were still about 25% of the contestants in tonight's race are driving Ferraris that all just want to be in my good books. And you know what, people? Congratulations. You've done it. Brad Smoke in the Ferrari, trying to keep up with Becco. I'm worried. I don't know whether to pronounce that Becco or Bico. But these two drivers are certainly looking to exchange positions. Argitsu and Rodriguez now. No, sorry, Argitsu. Oh, that's a GT4 he's going past. So Argitsu has been dropped from the battle up ahead. But it is the birthday boy, Jeff Trocchio, coming up a Rouge. That is how you take Eau Rouge, ladies and gentlemen. Boom, Radion and Eau Rouge nailed. Why do the shadows keep disappearing under the cars? Look at that Ferrari, it looks like it's floating. That's really bizarre. But Jeff Trocchio comes along the Kemmel Straight. I do believe that is in fact Albie. Yes, it is. It's Albie's got just ahead of him there. He's about to lap. Albie down in 23rd position after taking pole. Of course, a lot of pit stops still to take. And there's a lot of cars battling. Speaking of battling, Brad Smoke has got the move done, I think. Ooh, that's a bit of a running wide from Bico then. Brad Smoke has got the move done, so he is ahead now of that Aston Martin. So that's him up to 12th position. Let's have a look at the GT4s then. We'll jump right down. I just want to check on the leaderboard, see just how many. Oh, that driver's no longer in the race. Neither's that one. Oh, there we go. There's one that is. And that is Anthony Perez. So we've seen Shane Jordan then. I did wonder. Shane Jordan, Kain, has taken his pit stop already. He qualified in pole for the GT4 race. Saw himself very quickly overtaken in the third. And he has taken his pit stops. Only 3 drivers taking their pit stops so far. It is definitely early to be taking their pit stop. But Shane Jordan looking to pull off some magic if he can. David Hilbert is in 21st overall in that Aston Martin. He's got a couple of GT4 cars ahead of him, so I think he was involved in a bit of an incident again. Look him struggling with those back tyres, moves right off the racing line. That isn't a competitor he's got behind him. That's a GT4 Aston Martin, just tucked in there behind him. But he'll be looking to get recovered, although... Oh no, yeah, whoever it is, sorry, he's just let him straight through. No, well, that's a bit of a strange one. That's not a GT4. That is actually. Who on earth is that?
Possibly a back marker there, John.
Yeah, sorry. Squirrel. Got completely distracted by the car sometimes. It is Spa. Anything is possible, let's face it. We've seen all kinds of action so far. And I'll tell you what, Matheus Freitas. Absolute hats off for a drive. Started on the second row of the grid. Now finds himself in first place. He was battling hard with Adrian Bordon, who is now 2.6 seconds in arrears to his fellow Ferrari driver. And speaking of fellow Ferrari driver, it was Alberto Alvarez that took pole position, got himself involved in a couple of clangers, and he's had to get himself into the pits and get repaired. He's back out on track in 21st position, but the pit lane here with the stop for tyres will take about 78% of a lap, so it's well over 1 minute 40, so there is plenty of leeway there to make back some places when the rest of the field pit. And let's face it, with the pace that he's showing, if he can get himself some clear track, although we rejoins with the birthday boy just going past him. That is the pink Ferrari and Mutu just in the background then. So that is 9th place that Mutu's in. Trocchio is in 8th, so Albi really is. Yeah, that's not exactly the ideal position for Albi, is it, Kain, to be coming out in the middle of traffic that is automatically going to get blue flagged past him, even though he is the quickest man on the track. I think it really does speak to, A, it's a very, very difficult position for him to be in, and B, it really does speak to the level of sportsmanship the man has, considering how quickly he's getting out of the way of these other drivers that are coming past him.
Yeah, it shows exactly that, John. Patient sportsmanship. Currently following the birthday boy now as they head into the pit straight. Fastest laps actually currently the race leader as well. He's setting low 219, so 219.125. Best lap out there currently. Still running 19s on the casual, so very quick pace out there and slowly pulling away from Adrian Bordon behind as well. So a couple of Ferraris taking it away for you, John. Love to see, I'm sure.
Yes, Forza Ferrari. Do love the Ferraris. They're doing absolutely fantastically well around my beloved Belgian biscuit of a course. I had to crack that joke at least once, Ken. I know you told me not to, but I really did have to, sorry. Matheus then coming past the GT4 car, Adrian Bordon, as we said, was battling with Matheus, but Matheus is quite frankly leaving him in his dust at the moment. Still a solid performance though from Adrian, lapping very comfortably in second place, taking that curb very bravely indeed, coming up onto some GT4 cars. That is the current podium sitters. With 30 minutes into the race. Sorry, the current podium sitter is also Matt Artem. He's, of course, there's three steps on the podium, Kain, just in case you were wondering for future reference. Matt Artem, he's the man that's on step number 3 in the moment. And then it is, I'm not sure if it's Baby Shark or Silver Shark, but Nicholas Blash from Sky Tempesta Racing. Certainly have some fans. If I get into trouble for reading this, I do apologise. Blash is Corvina Negra Cansada. Go Blash. I hope I pronounced that okay.
Sounded good to me, John.
It sounded not bad to me as well, actually, Kain. It turns out 4 years of Spanish at secondary school actually might have done me some good.
In that case, it sounded horrible.
Yeah, if it was the first time effort, it was fine, but no, you've practiced that before, lad. You're cheating. It's, you're back to the drawing board. Back to the drawing board. Back to the drawing board it is for Mark Cox then, our GT4 Aston Martin driver, looking a bit worse for where they're coming at the pits to take his mandatory pit stop by looking like get a bit of damage repaired. DNA Racing driver Drew Matthews in the Audi, currently in 30th in a GT3, but he has, of course, taken his pits. He's just behind Shane Jordan in the GT4, and one of only three drivers, second, sorry, of only 3 drivers to have taken their pit stop so far. Cox is in the pits now to make it 4. Of course, we've got Anthony Perez, we've got Guy Smelly, we've got Reed Aldred, and there is Jackie Harris. Just behind a Ferrari GT3 there. There's Chris DeCara racing as well, Garrett Cahill, Matthew Mudd and Alex Chavez, all in GT4 cars, being led at the moment in the GT4 class by Andre Alexander Afonso. In the BMW, of course, we saw the BMW absolutely hammer it home earlier this evening in the GT3 class, and it looks like the little brother of the GT3 BMW is looking to jump on the bandwagon as well. Could we see a BMW take the GT4 title tonight? That would be a nice one for the BMW fans out there for sure. Jumping through the rest of the field then, it is Alberto Alvarez. Of course, he's already been on stream. He took pole position with a 2 minute 18, involved in an incident early doors. He's had to come into the pits and get some damage repaired, and is now trying to fight his way through the traffic. David Hubert, the man just in front of him, with Darren Bradbury in 17th coming in to take his pit stop then. We've got Mac. I'm always struggling with that one. It's really easy as well. Something lap is in 16th, and Blaine Hall, oh, speeding in the pit lane. Mark Cox, it is. Oofed. Again, wasn't quite ready to talk about track limits and penalties, but it would appear Mr. Cox has decided to force that issue. First one of the race, and we've seen quite a few in the European edition with track limits costing drivers serious positions in the top 5 and 10. Will we see more of that here in the Americas edition? As we were saying, Blaine Hall then is in 15th position. There we go with Kurt Bradbury. Currently running in 14th, and it's Christopher Becco currently hanging on to 13th and trying to close back up on Brad Smoke, who's now come in to take his mandatory pit stop. It's Louis Arguizu in 11th. Augustin Rodriguez is the driver in the number 268 Ferrari, currently running in 10th. Then it is our single digit drivers, of course, Mike Mutu in the Ferrari in 9th, and birthday boy Jeff Trocchio in 8th. We've got Martin Flynn in 7th, with Steve Enders in 6th. Andrea Speck is in 5th. Nicholas Blash in 4th. There's Matt Artem, Adrian Bourdin, and Matthias Freitas, the top 3 drivers on track at the moment. But Kain, I'm looking at this here, and from what I can see, physically, you can visibly see it as well, Adrian is starting to close that gap back up on Matthias. And Kane's on mute.
Kain is on mute. It's very good what I said, but
Of course it was, Kane. Of course it was.
yeah, it was last lap, John. Matthias Freitas had a little bit of an incident there. Just lost a bit of time. It was a good two seconds down on Adrian Bourdin. So that's where the times come from, and they are right on top of each other right now. And he's going to enjoy that slipstream if he can manage it through a Rouge and Radeon. Camel Straight should be very interesting. They could even go side by side here into La Source, but SOP driver decides to back off a little bit. He's just going to pull into that slipstream, I think. Going to take advantage of it at the top here and use Camel Straight to get any possible move done, I think.
Well, we're certainly going to find out soon. No, there's Brad Smoke just coming out the pits. That was Blaine Hall in the pits, still getting the damage repaired. Oh, I tell you what. Adrian got the better run up. Oh, Radeon and Rouge there. You could tell by how wide he ran on the exit. Still managed to hold it, but not enough to catch up with Freitas at this time. Closes up in the braking zone. Look how close he manages to get there. So the slipstream very effective, but not able to use it to its full effectiveness, and has only closed the gap through a very difficult section. One defensive move. Adrian's going to go around the outside. He's going to have to hold that apex nice and tight. Adrian tries to go back up the inside. This is an absolute battle royale between these two. Every defensive move in the book. Freitas, oh, he's had a wiggle. The curves that kick back. We did talk about that earlier. Of course, we were running slightly late due to a slight issue, so we didn't get to talk about the things that we did in the earlier program. But believe me, these curves kick back. Some of the angle on some of these curves, if you go in them half-hearted, they will spit you off in all kinds of directions. And so we'll put in 2 of back tyres on the tarmac like here. Although there was a couple of drivers like Alex Nunes that certainly proved me wrong when they had both tyres on there. Full acceleration, I breathed in, they cruised on. It's an alien level some of these drivers drive at Bordeaux then. Coming through Stavelot, looking to close the gap, still well within the 0.8 of a second. They're required to be within slipstream range of the driver in front. Brad Smoke has come back out of the pits. He is ahead of Alberto Alvarez then. So Alberto really has lost a lot of places after that early incident. But as I said, little battles like this could certainly help him close the pack back up. Freitas having to make some defensive moves. Adrian trying to make all the attacking moves, and that's certainly not conducive to your quickest lap. In fact, both men over a second down on their quickest lap time on that last lap. It just shows you how much defending can actually cost you. Let's jump on board. Sorry, Kain, on you go.
Yeah, sorry, John. Just watching Mutu there. He's made his way up into 9th position. Just had some lap traffic there. Just dodging cars through as some more planes go overhead. Fantastic. I don't talk much. Can you come over? Mutu's done extremely well to avoid any contact there. Continues on in the 9th position. I'm talking like the plane can hear me. John makes some sense of anything out there. We've got a driver down. 13 issues on track. Who's that there? Drew Matthews. I've seen that pop up before. A few little issues there in that Audi for Drew today. So not the race he was expecting, I'm sure, but soldiering on nonetheless with just over 50 minutes to go, John.
Yeah, it could be a fairly lengthy shift. Not carrying too much damage. Early doors, sorry, I'm getting all distracted as well. I'm watching Jeff here. Absolutely fascinating battle between again, Bentleys and Aston Martins. As much as I love the Ferraris, it's definitely been Bentleys and Aston Martins that have provided most of the entertainment this evening. We did see a Datsun Sunny make a very good finish as well at the hands of Denise Pope. But this battle, again, Bentley on Aston Martin, and it is the birthday boy Jeff trying to close down on Martin Flynn. Both drivers lapping very, very close times. In fact, Jeff is the faster of the 2 drivers. He was almost a second quicker on the last lap. And looking very, very tidy through here as well. Very tidy indeed. He's set a personal best in the race at 20.1, which is not too shabby at all. It's nowhere near what I can get on this track, that is for absolutely sure. And the birthday boy making sure he makes the most of his birthday outing here. Trying to close still on the Aston Martin. How are the GT4s getting on? Well, I'm glad you asked, because Andre Afonso is still in the lead with Alex Chavez in second. And it is now Matthew Mudd who is up to 3rd place for the GT4s. Of course, we've got Bradbury, Jordan, Cox all having taken their mandatory pit stop so far, but it's Bradbury who is the driver out in the lead of the drivers that have taken their pit stop. So he's still ahead of Shane Jordan. Oh, Lecombe Ferrari down. Once again, Lecombe, just an absolute killer of a corner. There's and there's the race leaders coming through. Wow, so once again, Lecombe, the undoing there, unfortunately, of another driver. Andre Speck is not who I intended to jump on board with there. Where did that McLaren go? Yes, there he is. Louis gets you. I knew I was going to miss that. Off he goes round the outside from Les Sources, up Radion, into Eau Rouge, onto the Kemmel Straight, and he's got the move done on Rodriguez, but Rodriguez could not be any closer if he was paying rent and moved into the boot of that car. That's the trunk for anyone on the opposite side of the line to myself, and I tell you what, he's going back round the outside again. Is he going to pull on Alex Nunes? He absolutely is. Beautiful overtake there, Kain. Absolutely stunning display from both drivers. A double overtake, and it's the Ferrari that comes back out on top, temporarily perhaps.
Yeah, these guys putting it all on for viewers here watching. Absolute, yeah, driving display, you could say. A couple of pit stops now. It's Christopher Becco in the pits in that Aston. So we, yeah, possibly start to see these pit stops unfold now as the mandatories get cleared. You got Brad Smoke, Alberto Alvarez, obviously earlier. Brad Hall gets some pit stops done there as well. So we'll see where Christopher comes out in that Aston 96 car.
Yeah, well, I'm just having a look about as well. That's still very close there. Spec looks like he was getting close to Nicholas Blash, but it looks like that's dropped back off again. Jeff is still hovering all over the back of Martin Flynn. And Argetsu and Rodriguez, they look like they are just about ready for round number 4. Just off centre slipstream. Oh, I tell you what, the Ferrari's going to get a track limit penalty for that. That's definitely going to be a track warning there. Oh, Jeff's come into pits. Wow, there we go, nice and early. So Jeff, the man of the moment, comes in to take his pit stop. So Rodriguez and Arjitsu are going to find themselves coming through. Of course, it is Jeff's birthday at Half Fast Gaming. And we missed the interview earlier. We will do the interview with him later on. While the race is going on, just a quick look at what it is Jeff does on his modding site. There we go then, some of Jeff's modding work in action. I hope you paid particular attention to that hat when he moves his head. Some amazing technology that he uses that of course was mentioned in the interview that we'll be playing at the end. We'll get a hello from Jeff. While that was playing, of course, the action continued on screen. Rodriguez and Argitsu still battling it out. We've had quite a few of our race leaders and podium contenders, have come into the pits, and quite spectacular. I think Nicholas Blash has actually done it and got the move done on Andre Speck. He has. He absolutely has. What a pit stop that must have been by Nicholas Blash. No wonder they call him a shark. He smelt blood in the water and he absolutely took it there. Gained himself a place in the pit stop, Kain.
Yes, possibly.
On Andre Speck.
Yeah, sorry. He continues. We've got the first 1 and 2 coming in the pit stops now as well, so they're going halfway through the race. These guys coming in, getting those mandatory pit stops out of the way. So you can see where the race leader and the leading driver who has made that pit stop.
Bordeaux and Adrian.
Yeah, resume their battle.
Yeah, you all bought Adrian coming in. Oh, Argitsu's coming to the pits as well. So's Rodriguez. Ooh. Will Rodriguez do a Nicholas Blash and get the move done on Argitsu in the pits? That would be incredible if we got to see that happen twice in one race. We're looking at Martin Flynn at the moment though. Oh, that's the GT4 that got out of the way for Andreas. And unfortunately the Aston Martin Flynn approached very quickly indeed and had to get out of the way very quickly indeed. Hilbert is in the pits. Not a lot of GT4 cars have pitted at the moment. Alfonso is still in the lead with Chavez in second and Mudd in third. Cahill in fourth, Bradbury in fifth. But he's definitely going to take some places back. I think Bradbury is looking good for the lead of the GT4s, if not second, when he comes out the pits. As Kain mentioned, it is all action up at the front now. Freitas, our race leader, is coming back out of the pits. He's got Matt Artem still stationary. Argitsu is still moving. Rodriguez is stationary. Freitas is off and running. Mike Mutu, no! The number 77 Ferrari has spun it. He's kept it out the wall, but that is a painful place to lose at high-speed corner. He's going to lose a lot of time there to his competitors. How badly will that affect his end result? Steve Enders is the man leading the race at the moment. Of course, still has to take his pit stop. Just trying to work out who's still doing what there. Rodriguez, Bradbury's in the pits. Blash is still off and running, so he's about to go past Argitsu, Rodriguez and Bradbury as well. Sunfalop is in the pits. Jeff Trocchio is on his way out. So Jeff's going to make him back some places. In fact, Jeff is going to jump here up to 6th potentially. Unless I'm absolutely missing something. That should update and move Jeff up to 7th, sorry. Up to 7th. So yes, there we go. So he's made up a place in the pits as well. So a great run there from Jeff in 7th. It's Andrea Speck in 8th and Martin Flynn in 9th. And it is Argitsu and Rodriguez who come out the pits in 10th and 11th. And I'll tell you what, Argitsu's got a great run and managed to open up a nice little gap back to Rodriguez then. The two of them were right on top of one another before they came into the pits, and Argitsu has got the upper hand at the moment. And I tell you what, Brad Smoke has popped himself in the middle of the two of them as well. So some great outlaps there from Brad after he took his pit stop. Christopher Becco still in the pits, so that's a fair amount. Oh no, sorry, he's out the pits as well. These timing wars are going to be the death of me. Andre Afonso.
All sorts of chaos at the moment. Rodriguez has lost plenty of time in that pit stop, John. He's currently lost 2 positions there in between Argitsu. So Smoke and Becco snuck on through there. So Rodriguez is going to have plenty of work cut out to resume that battle.
Yeah, there's no way he's resuming any battle anytime soon other than to defend from Alberto pole position Alvarez. Back out on track. We did wonder how far up he would be after the pit stops, and he is 14th at the moment. He's got Rodriguez and Becco in front of him, and when we say Rodriguez is in front of him, I do mean literally in front of him. More Ferrari on Ferrari battles here. Alvarez we know to be very, very quick. He took pole position in the race with a 2:18, the type of time I can only dream of around here in a Ferrari. So you'd have to think he's got the makings of Rodriguez. How soon can he get it done though? And with 38 minutes left, can he improve on his position by catching up with Bako and potentially Smoke as well? We will certainly find out over the course of the next 38 minutes. Endres is still in the lead of the race at the minute with Mike Mutu in second. Of course, both these drivers still to take their pit stops, so we do in fact know that it is Matthias Freitas, who is in fact leading the race after the pit stop. Adrian Bourdon has maintained second position, and Matt Artem is the man on the third step of the podium at the moment. Nicholas Blash is definitely looking to close up and is very, very, very close to being within striking distance, especially considering Artem is dealing with some GT4s there. That's in fact Jackie Harris in the GT4s. Jackie Harris Racing, there we go. Does the livery designs and named personally by HFG's Jeff Trocchio as being a great help in everything he does. Oh, runs himself a bit wide to let that car through. There's a Chevy goes through as well. Cheeky. That's Shane Jordan perhaps, is it? Makes the most of that there. Yep, it is indeed. So Shane Jordan, who qualified first. Oh, Rodriguez on Albie. Albie's got the move done there. Did think that would be sooner rather than later. As we're running through the GT4 class, Albie has got the move done on Rodriguez. Rodriguez then will certainly be hoping to try and hang on to that slipstream and advance his position as much as he can, but Albie is absolutely off and running and on his way to try and get up to Christoph Beko, and I'm going to get that fly if it's the death of me, Kain. It's been a fascinating first half of the race so far. We've still got quite a few drivers to take their pits, and we did even see a Bentley in the last race go to within, I believe it was the last 18 minutes. So could
Rodriguez, good wiggle there, Josh.
Oh yeah.
Hang on to the back of Alvarez, showing the tyres there. So Jeff making moves, still in 7th position, getting past some GT4s there. Just heads out on his 23rd lap of the night, plus the other 40 odd they done earlier. Big night for a few of these drivers doing the dual race. Jackie Harris one off, of course Jeff the birthday boy, another driver going all out. 3 hours of on-track racing action for them both this evening.
Just absolute birthday heaven, isn't it, Kain? Like two races at Spa. Just, does it get any better than that? Good evening, Hatter Medea Spinala. I someone explained to me what that means, because I do apologise, but could you? Yeah, like Jeff, I'm in my 40s. I'm not sure what these things mean. Just Barton is appreciating that was a real good pass. We have seen some real good passes on here. That is for absolutely sure. But Spinala, give us a wee heads up on what that is. We've got 30. There's only 35 minutes left, Kain. Can we not go and put an extra couple of 50 pences in the meter and see if the race will extend, perhaps? Do you think that
There's an option.
That's,
There's
yeah.
an option. We need to, if it's not an option, we need to talk to Kunos and see if that can be an option.
Yeah, seriously.
Who is involved? Chuck a couple of, like you say, a couple of tokens in, get the extension going. Another 15 minutes.
Oh, it's all Blaine on Bradbury, Ferrari on Porsche. We saw that earlier as well. Sorry, McLaren on Porsche. And it's Hall on Bradbury, and I tell you what a run Hall got up Eau Rouge and through Ravion there. The Kemmel straight absolutely annihilated his opposition, and the Porsche is really going to struggle, I think, to hang on at the back here. Look at the way he smoothly sweeps through Lacombe. Oh, the Porsche runs wide, and that is that battle well and truly over. So playing the end of a slight mistake earlier on, he's coming to the pits, absolutely gathered himself beautifully, and is back on the run. Oh, and I tell you what, we're going to see a move on the birthday boy then. Absolutely no standard on ceremony. Hey, see what I did there? As Andrea Specht is looking to overtake the birthday boy with the GT4 car thrown into the mix just to keep it interesting. GT4 gets the way Jeff has a bit of a wiggle. coming out with the source. Woof, breathe in. Oh, he stays right in the slipstream here, Kain. Talk me through this action. This is fun.
Yeah, I'm talking myself through the breathing in as well, John. These guys are absolutely at it. Hammer and Tom. Jeff holds onto that position for now, but we know that slipstream's very powerful and does pull up inside. He's going to try and get that move done on the inside here at curves. Hopefully gets on the brakes early enough and gets it stopped. He does, and gets it stopped a little too much for Jeff, who lets that GT4 back through as well, but all sorts of more and more incidents there as everyone tries to get back on track. What was a spectacular overtake there. Jeff's obviously backed off there and let the position go again, as good sports always do, so good to see that, but yeah, lucky to see
Wolf goes for the full Tony Hawk rail slide there as well. Just coming down into double ghost then, so yeah, his tyres will definitely have a bit of a flat spot there. The GT4 lets them back through, and I tell you what, Flynn then was defending against Argitsu, now finds himself attacking Jeff. So he is definitely on a charge and looking to make a move here. Definitely sees that position as one that can be taken. We did wonder how long it would be before Alberto Alvarez made up another position. Well, not long is the answer to that question, because here he is about to make the move on Christopher Beckel, which means if we watch, nothing will happen. As soon as I watch anyone else, he'll pull off a spectacular overtake and will probably miss it. So apologies in advance, Alberto, for missing all your hot moves. He is in 13th at the moment and definitely going to take 12th position. Again, no disrespect to Christopher Beckel or any of his fans in any way, shape or form, but Alberto Alvarez took pole position by a half a second over everyone on this field. So he is the quickest driver on track. Hasn't managed to do it in the race quite yet. There are a couple of drivers.
Sorry, yes, John. Massive news in the chat.
Okay.
7th position, Andreas Specht. Been informed now he's playing on a mouse.
What?
He's playing currently in 7th position in the Aston Martin, number 78. Let's hope this information's credible. It's on YouTube. It's 100% credible. playing on mouse. Let that soak in.
How can you? What?
It can be done. Can be done. I don't understand. I can't play on a wheel as fast as these guys. But
wow, Jose Teixeira, yeah.
YouTube comments are 100% legitimate 90% of the time.
I appreciate that, thanks. Yeah, leader comes in the pit. Means the actual race leader, Matthias Freitas, will take over. I still can't get over that. Honestly, I was blown away when I saw people playing this with joypads, but he's actually using a mouse. That is absolutely ridiculous. Let me just type wow in the chat. If anybody's wondering, by the way, Double O Raven is typing in the chat. That is in fact myself. My name's John Wright, by the way. I haven't introduced myself on either programme this evening. My name's Double O Raven on Twitch and John Wright in real life. Whichever you prefer. There's also other names that people regularly call me, but apparently I'm not allowed to use them at this type of night. At this time of night in the region that we are broadcasting in. Oh, Albie runs a bit wide there on exit, and I've just caught wind of the fact that Blaine Hall once again. Look at this overtake. So we saw a slight mistake there from Blaine earlier on in the race, but making all kinds of amends at the moment. Putting the move on Bradbury in the Porsche. Hall back up to 15th position then. Enders is in the pits and of course has been overtaken by Freitas Bourdon. Artem and Blash will all take those places back as well. Minamutu is temporarily in the lead of the race until he comes in to take his mandatory pit stop. It is Matthias Freitas that leads the race that we are watching. Adrian Bourdon is in second place with Matt Artem In third position, Nicholas Blash, the white shark, baby shark, whatever type of shark it is. He is absolutely sharking his way through the field. He is currently in fourth position. Then we come to Steve Enders and Andreas Speck. I can't believe he is on a mouse. Like, how is that even potted? Like, I mean, there is technically enough buttons on him. I mean, just wow. So, yeah, he's on a mouse. Do you get the feeling I might be amazed by that, Kain? Jeff Trocchio is in 8th, Martin Flint is in 9th, and Louis Arjitsu is the man in 10th position. But he's got Brad Smoke chasing them down, as well as Christopher Beckel, who has, what did I tell you, been overtaken on the exit of Le Source and is done and dusted by the Kemmel Straight. He's going to hang on in there to the slipstream. He's going to get close in the braking zone, and I tell you what, Rodriguez is going to be a keen watcher of this one as well. Oh, and Lacombe once again, we see a mistake from the driver in Lacombe. It's Albie that makes the mistake in Lacombe, and that's just let this group close right up. The Aston Martin having an extra dab on the brakes here to avoid contact with the misguided Albie. And, or unguided, sorry, at the time, not misguided, unguided would be better. And yeah, that's brought the three of them very, very, very close together as well. Now, is that Brad Smoke just in front of them? No, that's the GT4 car, so Albie pops up the inside, Chris pops up the inside, and so does Rodriguez. So these three drivers battling out for 12th position. Albie will be hoping he can stretch his legs and drop these two and leave them battling behind him. But the a lot of steering input there on the Ferrari. There was a lot of steering input there on the Ferrari. Really struggling. The track temperature doing exactly the same thing as it did for the European race. Started at 31 degrees in qualifying, has dropped so far down to 26. We should see that drop to somewhere around about 24. Just having a look then at the GT4 race. Still the three GT4 race leaders to pit. They are the only drivers still on track left to take their pit stops. That is that the race leader? Oh no, is that Adrian? It is Adrian. Oh, tries to get out of the way of the red, blue flag there, the GT4 cars, and nearly comes himself a bit of a cropper. Rodriguez. Confused by what I'm seeing there. Oh no, that is Beckel just ahead of him still, sorry. They're going to be very close. This just seems to be setting up now, Kain, doesn't it? Every time you watch drivers this close at the bottom of Radion on Eau Rouge, Lacombe seems to be the tomb. Oh, found it outside. Talk to me about the action, Kain.
100% on board. I'm watching Albie here get past Urad. Rodriguez has not let anybody go there. We're unsure whether Albie would be able to take over and extend that lead, but Rodriguez definitely logging on. Still 1.2 and getting past all that traffic at the same time, to the most part anyway. But yeah, setting up. 25 minutes left. Still setting up to be quite the finish. Still got the race leader currently to pit. Was the love from plenty of people in the chat early on. Mike Mutu there in the Ferrari, so no doubt pretty soon we'll see that thing come in and get the mandatory pit cleared along with the remaining GT4 cars. I said top 3 of the GT4s still yet to come in as well, so it'll be interesting to see where they come out into the mix of cars once those pits are cleared. But they're definitely setting up for a final 20 minutes of non-stop action.
Yeah, it really is starting to look good. Oh, Chris Beckel's starting to look good. Sorry, Christopher Beckel then. Still getting very close to that Ferrari. These two trading places.
So just a little bit more confirmation from the chat there. Hater Media expect got first in Suzuka 24-hour amount.
Is he the guy?
He's the guy.
he's the guy. I heard about him. Is that actually the guy? Wow. Yeah, so I heard about him during an SOP event. Someone explained to me that someone had won on a keyboard and mouse.
Well, currently seeing it now. Yeah, Andreas Beck. There in some positions too.
And Freitas is the grandson of a great Formula One Brazilian driver. Which one? I know he's on.
We need to.
He's going to be a Sir Rubens Barrichello, isn't he?
There's still too much research that we haven't.
Yeah, how is this possible? Would you like a job?
Kain's microphone goes mute.
He speaks Spanish, mate. A third of the language.
Right out of this bird.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I was thinking more of a researcher. Don't worry, I wasn't kicking straight out of bed.
No, fantastic info there.
Yeah. I wonder what driver it is. Bet it's Rubens Barrichello's grandson. That would be awesome. Rubens Barrichello, of course. I'm pretty sure he's driven more Formula 1 races than any other driver. I think is the record he holds. Chavez from second position in the GT4 race. Comes in to the pits. Cahill instantly goes past him. Those two drivers very, very close indeed. It's going to be great to see how this one plays out at the top end of the GT4 pack. Christopher Beckel is still trying to close the gap then on to Augustin Rodriguez. Not quite managing it this lap. I'm just holding on here to see. Okay, I can't see the name. He is very serious about it. Oh.
Yeah, we can definitely respect that.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Currently back into the lead, so doing an awfully good job out there in the 70 minutes so far as Mike Mutu comes out of the pits now with that mandatory stop cleared, John, in 8th position. So he's just going to have about a half of the camel straight behind the birthday man himself, Jeff.
Actually, no, he's not. Timing boards have set you up there, Kain, I'm afraid. Mutu's come out the pits. Yeah, he's down in 9th. Well, down in 9th. It's only one place down, but yeah, he's come out one place down, so it's not Jeff he's currently chasing. It's in fact Flynn in the Aston. And if I'm looking at this correctly, Becco and Rodriguez, we see a GT4 coming out of the pits. Afonso still on track. Cahill still on track. Chavez is taking his pitch well ahead of Jordan. Mudd is in 5th. Afonso, misses his brakes there, avoids the contact. The Aston Martin runs off to the left in Lecum, and the Ferrari runs off into the distance down into Bruxelles. So this is just a battle that is going to keep on brewing. Bordeaux, no. Looking very good in second at the moment. 16 seconds is the gap back to Matt Artem in the Audi. Matt was very challenging in the first stint, or sorry, challenging very well in the first stint, but certainly seems to be struggling in the second time-wise against Adrian. A big gap. Adrian's got back to second place, 5 seconds behind the leader he is as well though. So it is an interesting position for Adrian. Does he hang on to the second place or does he push? Oh, baby shark. There's a drive-through penalty, Kain, and it is Nicholas Blash for track limits. And there's another. Kain, the leader of the GT4s, has just got himself a drive-through penalty for track limits. We didn't see many GT4 drivers get track limit penalties in the first race, but the GT4 class leader has bagged himself an extra stop in the pits. That is going to be a painful one.
Yeah, with still the mandatory pit stop to clear, so do the math. I've been up for way too long to do the maths for anybody else, but that's 2 trips through the pit stops, John. One for the mandatory and second for that drive-through. So drive-through will of course be served first. It'll be the overriding stop made. Yeah, devastating there for the GT4. Like you said, currently in first position.
Yeah, so the class leader then, falling by the wayside there. 2 trips into the pits, Kain. Your maths is absolutely spot on. It's definitely to be commended. And of course, as you rightly point out, you will have to take the drive through first. And I'm pretty sure he can't take his pit stop on the outlap, so he's going to have to put a lap between them as well. We are back on board though with Biko and Rodriguez. They are absolutely still going at it. Why do I smell burning? Kain, talk to me about the action on screen while I just quickly check some in. 2 seconds.
That's a new one. Yeah, I'm currently on board with the mouse driver, Andreas Specs there, in the RST team. Doing awfully well, up into 6th position as we see some other moves getting made. Bradbury getting past on the GT4s of Cox. So plenty of action still. Rodriguez slightly dropping off the back now of Alberto Alvarez, sorry, and he's got plenty of action from Christopher Becker as well, who they've both passed. So Becker's going to be on the hunt to get that position back on the quick. It'll be interesting to see how much Albie can push up in these final 16.
Oh, back Kain, they're side by side. Sorry, Biko and Rodriguez. Oh, there's a bit of a touch. The Ferrari is down. Biko charges on. And there was a bit of contact there through Blanchimont. For anybody that is wondering, yes, I can smell burning. It is 10 past 3 in the morning, and the reason I can smell burning is because, well, obviously my neighbours are having a barbecue. Bako then is the man that survived the contact with the Ferrari. The Ferrari, Rodriguez, is the man who didn't survive the contact, so the battle that had been brewing for quite a while. And these two drivers, full credit to them, have been side by side through several corners. There's one corner too many. Saw them make the slightest bit of contact.
Andrea Alexandria Alfonso clearing that drive-through penalty, so 16 minutes left. Still going to have to come in and get the pit stop done. The GT3 car, Christopher Becker just behind now, very, very fast. We get all sorts of nets to. Let's hope that gets done.
Oh, and more contact. Oh, that's a double. Brad's been annihilated, and that is 3 rear endings we've seen in the space of 3 minutes. More action here than out in the back of my street. The Ferrari, the McLaren of Arjitsu though, is currently trying to get one over on Mutu. This is a battle for a top 10 position. Speaking of top 10 positions, let's have a look at the birthday boy. He is very comfortably in 6th place at the moment, so a great drive for Jeff. Involved in a bit of an incident in the first race, so it's great to see the second race panning out for him, considering he put this whole event on for everyone to take part and for us to watch and enjoy. And he is currently, as I say, in 6th position, looking very good indeed. Let's get back to this battle. Sorry, on you go, Kain.
Yeah, quick change there it must have been. Didn't actually catch that position change from Jeff just now, so...
because Blash got a drive-through penalty. So he gained the position when Blash came in.
Thanks, John.
You're welcome. One of us has got to pay attention. Oh, that's very quick from the McLaren. He had to take avoiding action there, so he definitely lost acceleration, but not enough to break the slipstream. He is absolutely chasing this one down. Let me just make sure that game sound isn't drowning out my voice, or maybe that would be better, you lucky people. Oh, going to Lecombe, onto curb 1, onto curb 2, very bravely using it to rotate the car, gets a good line. into the middle section. Great exit for both cars. Up and over that curb. Looks to make a move into Bruchelle perhaps. Both drivers hugging the apex initially, then coming back in to get that late apex exit. It's the lead Ferrari. Oh, sorry, it's the Ferrari that gets the much better exit. Coming down towards Double Gosh. Whoa, he's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. I tell you, these two keeping it very close and clean still. And this is another one that's going to crack on. So it's been all changed then, as we mentioned. It was Andre Alfonso that was leading the GT4s. And I think that was actually, no, Alex Chavez. So there's Alex Chavez now taking the lead for the GT4s. Garrett Cahill is going to top the hill. Second place for Garrett. Shane Jordan back on the podium. So there we go. And Matthew Mudd coming down the last corner there. So I don't think that position's got done. Oh, of course, so this is Afonso, sorry, coming back in to take his actual pit stop. Yes, of course, already been in for the drive-through. Getting myself way too excited trying to keep up with everything that's going on. Speaking of everything that's going on, it looks like Argetsu is missing the camera time, so okay then, here you go, you can have some more. Right under the rear spoiler of the Ferrari once again. Into the source they both come. Oh, and the Ferraris run well wide, and the McLaren is going to say thank you very much. It's going to be a side-by-side drag race going into Radion Ono Rouge. Hang on tight, ladies, gentlemen, race fans, birthday well-wishers. This one could get interesting with the GT4 indicating, gentlemen, please go to my left. And he's panicked and put his emergency lights on, and it's a three-wide situation at the top of Eau Rouge. The two GT3 cars survive to go side-by-side. The McLaren in the drag race pulls over Mercedes. The Ferrari tries to get into the slipstream, doesn't manage to do anything with the slipstream, but stays well and truly in there into the source. Bit of a nose wiggle in the central section of this complex little corner. And the McLaren then, Kain, that is an absolute textbook move there, beautifully done, and a part of the track that a lot of drivers have struggled with in this race.
Yeah, beautiful work from the two drivers on screen. Huge effort from Mutu there to get the there's all sorts of slipstream chasing going on through there. Get that car pulled up, make no contact with the McLaren in front, and still stay within the second. Yeah, incredible effort there. As the guys are 80 minutes in of the 90-minute race, so just over 10 minutes left. We'll only see 4, maybe 5 more laps. All going to be on display as the guys look to gain as much out of the finishing laps as they can. Jeff still in 6th. Andreas Specht on the mouse, still in 5th position. I'm still speechless over that.
Yeah, I'm absolutely gobsmacked. Gobsmacked that he is on a mouse. His lap times are just, yeah, quite unbelievable. So yeah, an incredible performance. An incredible performance. But position, oh, I can't see him because he's in the top 10. That's the problem with using 2 different timing datas. Where has he gone? There he is. Quickest lap of the race, 2 minute 19.5. I've never been below 2 minute 20. And he's lapping that in a race on a mouse. It's quite frankly a bit ridiculous, you know. Shane Jordan then will definitely be happy to be back on the podium, even if it is at the expense of Afonso, who now finds himself down in 5th. And I tell you what, we've got a battle going on down with Anthony Perez as well. He's battling it hard with, oh no he's not, he was just very close to a GT3 car. This timing board really isn't great. Jackie Harris there, got lots of mentions in the first race. Got to love the artwork on his cars. Those liveries, of course, his livery, and that's Sunthorpe going through. His livery and, of course, the Birthday Boys livery, both done by Jackie himself. Drive-through for track limits, car number 78, Kain.
Oh, and that is Andreas. So one man's nightmare is going to see Jeff move up into the top 5, no doubt here.
Yeah, that really will be a great finish for Jeff to get 5th here. Brad Smoke is the man that's all over the back of Nicholas Blash. He's just served a drive-through penalty. He's come back out in 10th place. He's got the battered and bruised Brad not far behind him. And speaking of the battered and bruised Brad, we've also got Kurt Bradbury. See what I did there? Racing along Metalhead Motorsports, of course, in that Porsche. He is trying to catch up onto the back of Rodriguez, but he does have that Aston Martin just behind him. He is definitely making moves on closing that gap slowly but surely on Rodriguez. I don't think it's going to be enough. I'm just going to look and see what the timing board says at this next split. That won't be till the end of this straight, so I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll jump back on board. Not Artem, sorry, but Flynn. Because it is Flynn, another man here, looking to take away some birthday shine. Oh, Hall has come back into the pits as well. We did see that as well in race 1, Kain. One driver had to splash and dash, and Chris Davies actually didn't complete the race because he ran out of fuel just before the line.
Yes, so always a problem with such long events. Very hard to get the fuel right on the money down to the last drop. I know from my experiences, I will throw 20 extra litres in for a 90-minute event.
Gotcha.
As it doesn't really add too much time to either side, either the full tank or the shorter fuel strategies. But yeah, unfortunate there. It looks like Blaine has come in to just get that little splash and dash to finish the race. So good showing still. That was the Alturos.
Yes.
From earlier on, yes.
Yeah,
Alturos.
Remember
the name.
That's right. Yeah, Alturos. It was indeed from the Watch the Race earlier on, and hasn't been racing long either.
No, definitely doing a stellar job out there. Very consistent, keeping the thing on track, and yeah, apart from the little splash and dash at the end there, it's been a good race so far.
Yeah, it really has. Max Synthalap then has just been overtaken by David Hilbert in the Aston Martin. The Ferrari driver very quickly overtaken there. Oh, although the Aston Martin and the Ferrari, both of them struggling there to get into the entrance of Stavolo, and it's not a very good entrance at all for Hilbert in the Aston Martin. You get the feeling from that the Ferrari could look to close the gap then. Albi Alvarez definitely knows what it means to get closing the gaps, and he was very close to Rodriguez, but once again the timing board telling lies. Where is Rodriguez? Oh, Rodriguez is actually just ahead of him again. So Albi, 5 minutes left to go. The pole sitter finds himself down in 14th place. Absolutely not what we expected result-wise from Alvarez this evening, but this is Spa, and Spa is merciless. Doesn't matter who you are, Spa is the great leveller. Shane Jordan then is actually looking to go one better than third here. He's got Cahill just ahead of him. These two battling out for second and third place now. That is in fact birthday boy Jeff just appearing in the foreground. So obviously can't get enough of the camera time on his birthday, and who could blame him? But he is watching this battle for position just ahead of him here, and it's going to make it very tricky. And I tell you, this is definitely not what Jeff needs as he tries to make his way into that top 5. Oh, and the move's done by the GT4. And I think the Chevy has got it done. Absolutely got it done. The battle still continues. And sorry, on you go, Kain.
Yeah, Jeff will be looking to get this done early. Martin Flynn caught up rapidly in that little hold up that the GT4's provided there. So Jeff's going to have a battle in his hands here. Should move up into 5th once the penalty, the drive-through is served from Andreas Specht. But still going to have his handfuls there. Yeah, Martin Flynn on the charge behind.
Yeah, Martin really is definitely on a charge. And that little GT4 battle there, the overtake that we just saw, absolutely played right into his hands. So the timing board, there we go, now confirms that Jordan is back up to second place in the GT4 class. There's a long way to go. 3 minutes left, 7 seconds is the gap. So you've got to feel that that might be a bit much, but it is Spa. Kerb could kick, a corner could, yep, and a chicane it could do even worse. Jeff very calmly into the last chicane. The Aston Martin later on the brakes in the Bentley. Closes the gap there. Just checking the timing boards as well. I thought Argitsu looked like he'd just put in one of his quickest laps. Trying to close down. And I think he is actually on pace to do so. So he's coming alive in the second stint of this race as well. Another GT4 guy. Whoa, Aston Martin. Why would you be that far over in a blue flag situation? Absolutely gave me a big old fright there. I'm sure Flynn did, as well as the GT4 driver that's now skinning his way through Radion and Eau Rouge. That is it Garrett Cahill? No, Garrett's actually involved in a battle here with Shane still. I thought Shane had got the move done quite nice and neat and quickly and off into the distance, but Cahill definitely looks like he's got different ideas here, Ken.
Yeah, final laps here, 2 minutes left. Everyone's going to have all sorts of ideas to get up further in the standings. Got a car yellow flag there, an Atlas Source. Haven't seen too many incidents there thus far. Just trying to check who that is. That is Jackie Harris. So unfortunately, Jackie Harris going off at the source there. Possibly a breaking point with tyres. Let's hope he hasn't had too much contact with any walls as he gets it into the pits there. Been a long night for Jackie as well here for the two races, showing support as he has done for Jeff and the HFG community from the get-go. So big thanks to Jackie there. As always, always a tough competitor out on track.
Yes, indeed. Speaking of tough competitors, Kane, Cahill and Jordan absolutely not done battling at the moment. In fact, is that another GT4 that's getting involved as well? That is... Who is that? Oh, that's a McLaren. Sorry, that's the GT3 McLaren that's coming through there. I do know who that is because we know that is Mike Mutu. So it is Louis Argitsu, sorry. So he has kept the gap on Mike Mutu, and he's now got, oh, Mike's made contact with that GT4 car there just a little bit, and that is Cahill, who's battling out for second place, but he's got drivers in the GT3 class battling out for spots inside the top 10. Blue flags waving left and right. How is Louis got through? Okay. Martin's through. Okay. Jeff is definitely through. There is Brad.
So chat just confirming as well that Blaine Hall had some damage. The GT4 car got stuck into a bit of a wall there, so a little more.
No way, Shane Jordan. Sorry, Kane. Sorry, but that's a big one. Shane Jordan, drive-through penalty on the last lap, so he's got no choice now. All this is going to do is... Oh, what? He's finished the race? No way. Ah, okay, I didn't even realise he was that far into his last lap, but Matthias Freitas then has won the race. I'm so sacked as a broadcaster. Adrian Borden is going to take second position, or has taken second position, and Matt Artem is going to come home by the looks of it and take a very nice third place indeed. Rodriguez and Alvarez have both been credited with finishing the race 13th and 14th. Blaine's come home in 18th position. So it does look like Endres then Steve Endres had a great race, kept it under the radar, comes home in fourth, and of course the birthday boy himself. It is Jeff Trocchio. It is his birthday, and he will bring it home for 5th position in his Jackie Harris Racing livery. Let's just have a look at that as he comes into the last chicane. There we go then. The birthday boy himself crossing the line. He will be very happy with 5th position. I'm absolutely sure on that one. Great race from Jeff there. Let's see if we can get some confirmation on the GT4s. And it looks like Chavez is going to be the man to take first place in that division. Jordan still on track with that drive-through penalty, so he's going to get himself a huge time penalty that could see him drop right down the GT4 class, but we will see Chavez in the Porsche taking the GT4 checkered flag. Shane Jordan, will cross the line second in that class, but 80 seconds will be added, so it will be Cahill and Mudd who will take the podium positions. So there we go, it just shows you the race is never run until it is run. And Matthew Mudd has kept it running. 4th place he thought he was in. There we go, thanks to 2 driver mistakes by Jordan and Afonso, both being penalised by the stewards. Finds himself with the 3rd position in this class. What a race that was again, Kain.
As always, John. Spa, doesn't it turn it on? It's been a fantastic 90 minutes for this race, on top of 90 minutes for the European server earlier. Huge result. Congratulations to our winners, Matthias Freitas on the top step, Adrian Bourdon on 2nd place, and Matt Artem in 3rd place there. And then, as you said, the GT4s there, Chavez coming through for the win after that unfortunate ending with the penalties.
Yeah, indeed. We've got Jeff on screen at the moment, and I think we're going to try and get him into the chat to say a quick hello before we play his interview after, quite frankly, another absolutely stunning race. Let me just see if he is available. Jeff, how are we doing, young man?
I'm well. How about yourselves?
Absolutely phenomenal. Another fantastic race. Sorry, couldn't see in the chat before the race, and we had a slight issue with the interview, so we're going to play it again at the end for everybody to see. But the race itself, absolutely phenomenal. And for you yourself, Jeff, 5th place. You've got to be very, very, very happy with that.
Very happy. I didn't expect it qualifying as slow as I did, but I just maintained the consistency.
Yeah,
and that's what it was. Very consistent there, catching it through the whole race. Yeah, top effort. Would have good to finish on the high there, Jeff.
Absolutely. It's time for bed, I think.
Oh, amen to that, brother. Amen to that. As I say, we are going to say our good nights just now, but we are going to bring you the interview with Jeff. Please do watch that and get onto his website and have a look. But for now, for myself anyway, quick goodbye from me, Jeff. I'm sure there's thank yous and goodbyes you would like to say for this evening.
Of course. I couldn't do this without Jackie Harris Racing, as I said before, and also the patrons that subscribe to me on patreon.com. And of course, what would a race be without the people in the paddock with us today? So thank you so much to all those folks.
Absolutely.
Yep, I would second that. Kain, it's been an amazing 2 races. A pleasure for you and I, I'm sure. Give us some thoughts on the races and the competition tonight.
Yeah, I'll just exactly the same. Thanks to all the Jeff's patrons for helping put this event on. Thanks, Jeff, for allowing us to be a part of it. It has been a fantastic couple of hours of entertainment, no doubt. And yeah, be sure to get back and watch all the races, everyone.
Yes, indeed. Some absolutely sterling advice here from Kain. I know I'm going to be able to go to my bed and watch them both back. Yeah, again, I'll just echo what we said. Thank you very much to Jeff. Happy 42nd birthday, 42 years young. Thanks for getting Kain and I involved. Thank you to everyone that took part in both races tonight. Thank you to the patrons for making it all possible. And Jeff, massive thank you on behalf of Kain and I for getting us both involved in your event this evening.
Really appreciate you guys being here and giving it some extra light.
Some extra gusto, definitely. Well, that is all time we have for you this evening. I am going to play this interview with Jeff. It's about 10 minutes long. Please do watch it. There's some links at the end for getting involved. As I said, Half Fast Gaming on Discord if you want to get involved in Jeff's racing. And of course, Half Fast Gaming on YouTube. And the interweb if you want to get involved in some of the American Truck Simulator mods and things that Jeff does. But for now, parting in such sweet sorrow. Huge freaking grids around an amazing freaking track, and what a freaking night it's been. Thank you, ladies, gentlemen, racers, and birthday well-wishers for joining in. My name is John Wright, and that is all we have time for this evening. Thank you, stay safe, and good night.
Good night.
Good evening. Thank you very much, Kain. I am indeed live in Massachusetts with the birthday boy himself. It is Jeff, 42 years old. He is, 42 years young. The man at the moment. So, Jeff, give us a quick tell us about yourself.
Well, thanks, John. I am been a fan of motorsports for quite a long time. I have a wife and a son who is 4 years old. We're trying to get him into the business as well. So yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. So, 4-year-old son and wife, happy family man, and I love a motorsport. Any particular motorsport? GT3s, I'm guessing, or something else in there, perhaps?
Well, I do love some GT racing, but I came about on the Formula One train probably around 1988. Our earliest memories are from me and my brothers getting down super early on the Sunday morning to watch on ESPN at 4 a.m. in the morning. So
that is dedication.
Yeah, we live about 6 hours away from the Canadian Grand Prix, so we're excited to get back there when it reopens.
Nice. Have you had many visits there before?
My brother's been every year since 2016, and I've been 3 times since.
Oh, nice. Very nice, very nice. And does your car history, is that something that reflects your love of speed? What type of cars is it Jeff drives about in?
Yeah, well, I did start with a Nissan 240SX, which is a Silvia for the folks in the UK
Nice.
and Europe. But now I drive a BMW 328i.
Ooh, up a few levels from the Nissan, that's for sure. So your computer days, obviously, everyone knows you. Half of your followers are going to know you from the racing, half of your followers are going to know you from the modding side of things. Which one came first? Which did Jeff do first, racing or modding? How did it all start?
Well, the racing I think started a long time ago. That was on the Apple IIe with Test Drive in 1986. But
Wow.
I've done a lot of racing games since then. But realistically, in the past near about 6 years now, I've been working on modding for American Truck Simulator. So a lot of following on Facebook there, and I've learned a little bit about 3D modeling and Blender as a tool to do all those things.
Okay, Blender, I've had a bit of fun with that myself. So 3D modeling, it does sound like that's, I mean, I've watched some of your videos, obviously, and it's some complex stuff you do there. What is the sort of average time scale? I mean, I know that's how long is a bit of string, but sort of what is your average time scale you're looking at for some of these projects that we see you doing on YouTube, Jeff?
Well, particularly the one that's most popular for me is the Project 3XX, which is Peterbilt used in the late 80s, early 90s, kind of one cab configuration. Everything's a little bit different than it is in Europe, with you can change hoods here because we have the longer hoods and less cab overs like you guys have.
Okay.
So they would just stick a different hood on the truck to make it like for a different task. So I've been working on this particular truck, which is going to be 8 different hoods in the end. I have six down, 2 to go, and I've been working since 2018 on it. So it takes a good amount of time, especially when you have a family and an actual other job.
Yeah, that's dedication right there. Wow, that's since 2018. Gee, that's 3 years.
Yep.
That's yeah, a lot of time. So in that time, I take it you've maybe perhaps don't want to say a worst, but there's bound to be a favourite and perhaps a least favourite over the years in that collection.
Well, yeah, I think um, my favorite. Well, let's start with the worst first. We'll leave the positive for the end.
Yeah.
The worst is probably the Freightliner I worked on probably for about 6 months or so. I worked with a model that was released, and after I had spent that 6 months and got all kinds of parts made and things working, he came back and said, "You know what? I've updated this, and all those dimensions are wrong." And you're coming from a group of people that basically get out of their truck at night and then drive on this trucking game. So they're expecting some realism here. So having it be the wrong dimensions, I just basically stuck it in the bin for now.
Yeah, that is a painful one. Wow, that's a lot
Yeah.
of time down the train for someone to, just a few wrong dimensions. Yeah, and yet, like you say, they definitely want the realism, the truckers, when they're coming on to play American Truck Simulator, so definitely would be important. So we'll move swiftly on from that one then. What about your favourite? What's been Jeff's pièce de résistance?
I think, I mean, Project 3XX is up there, but it's been in development for quite a long time. So I'm going to say there's a wood chip trailer that I've been working on with the modeler that made it, and ever since the most recent updates in the game, it just looks real sweet. Lights are on point. It's a great looking trailer. I'm really happy with it.
Yeah, we're actually going to have that on the screen, so you can see that one as we are speaking. Speaking of on screen, Jeff, I noticed as well, we've actually got a little video that we're going to show later, but some of the technology you use as well. I noticed you've got like the motion capture thing in that, so that really is some really, really cool technology you use for that as well. What would you say is your favourite piece of technology for making your videos?
Well, I think that there are a couple of different parts of the videos that I really quite enjoy, especially when you're trying to teach people how to do something. It's very important, like seeing the mouse on the screen and what the mouse is doing. So I invested in some software that tracks the mouse across the screen and lets people know what buttons are being hit when I hit them.
Okay.
And when I drive, I do use Track IR. So when I look around with my head, the screen moves back and forth, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. I've seen a few videos of that, and I'm very impressed. I'm thinking about getting that for a racing setup. But speaking of racing setup, of course, you do the racing as well. As you mentioned, Test Drive back in 1986 on the Apple. I'm assuming we've come slightly forward from then. So what sort of sim racing games are on Jeff's horizon these days, and what is your sim racing setup? I mean, you've definitely got the kit, and we can see Spa in the background there, of course. But what kind of kit is it Jeff is using these days, and what games are keeping your fancy tickled?
Well, right now it's just ACC. I love GT racing. I really only have time to kind of concentrate on one game, so that's really what I do for the sim portion. If I'm just kind of poking around with stuff, or my son wants to see me drive things, then I'll usually pick up Forza Horizon and play around with that. And I started with a IKEA Poang chair and a custom wooden desk that I built around the chair.
Nice.
With a Thrustmaster F430, and then moved on to a G27, and then I got a GT Omega stand, and then I decided that wasn't enough, so I got the seat kit with the seat and a 32-inch monitor, and now I'm up to a G29. So it's been quite a level of an increase of levels, we'll say.
Yeah, it definitely happens that way with sim racing. You start off with a joypad, suddenly you've got a seat, a room dedicated, steering wheels. It's easy. When you're not sim racing, Jeff, what else? Is there any other computer games that take your fancy? What does Jeff do in his downtime when he's not tearing up the track?
Well, I was looking through just today. I was looking through my Steam library, and I have over 130 games or something like that. But probably my most popular to jump into after ACC or doing some modding is Cyberpunk, or like a Fallout type of game that just kind of it's not necessarily relaxing, but it's something other than driving.
Open world immersion.
Yep.
Type thing. Yeah, take you away. Nice. Well, we are here, of course, for Jeff's birthday and the huge freaking grid. 82 cars, Jeff. Thanks very much. 82 cars we've got. So tell us, how did HFG Racing come about? Of course, you started with a mod, but HFG Racing, how did that in itself come about in the huge freaking grid?
I think that initially it came about because it was, I've always wanted to be part of the sim racing group and crowd and those kind of things. I wanted to build a place where people can come together and talk about racing and really build kind of like that camaraderie between other racers. And you're not looking to ruin people's races. You're looking to help other people understand maybe what's different about their setups or how they're taking corners or things like that. So that's why we kind of delved into that. I got a hold of Jackie Harris Racing, who has been instrumental in keeping everything kind of tied down with whatever rules and things of that nature. But yeah, we bumped it up to 82 cars because that's the actual grid size in real life. So we like the split up of the GT4s. It keeps everything kind of not separated, but there's always something to do. Once you break away from your GT3s, you're going to come across another car at some point or another,
yes,
which
indeed.
Makes it nice.
Yeah, it does. It certainly will. And of course, the track itself.
The track itself, you can see right over there,
hanging on the wall there. Yeah, right. It's right behind my head, actually, Jeff. Sorry, let me just move it away so people can see that as I'm in your office. But if I just move it, people can see it. There is Spa there. Let me just sit back down in Jeff's office, of course, in the Omega chair right next to him. Definitely. But yeah, the track, obviously you're an F1 fan, so I think Spa, really, that seemed like a fairly obvious choice, really.
It is, yeah. It's one of those tracks that I would love to go to in real life and actually see a race there. But yeah, I've always loved that track, just because it's one of those tracks that really, you can have rain in one section and it can be clear as day in the other. It's really, it's a very variable track, and it's so long, and just there's a big rhythm that goes on, and if you're not a part of it, then it's hard to do. But once you get into it, it feels great.
It really does. It really does. So yeah, so how are you feeling ahead of the race? Of course, you're taking part in both of the races. How are you feeling ahead of them both?
Well, I can already tell I'm going to be tired. Oh yeah, GT3. I'm gonna be working.
Yes.
It's no, I'm already tired thinking about it, but I really love the track, and I'm using the Bentley, so
nice.
It'll be get out of my way, big grill in your face kind of car,
Yeah, it's got to be done. It's got to be done. Well, yeah, and I tell you, Kain and I absolutely can't wait to get our teeth stuck into this 82 cars. Massive shout out though, Jeff. You mentioned Jackie Harris already as being one of the main driving forces behind these helps, been absolutely invaluable, and of course your patrons as well have helped you get to where you are and made these things possible for you, really.
Oh yeah, and it's only multiplying like tenfold, which is very appreciated. Obviously, these things cost money, not a lot, but a little bit here and there. So having a few patrons on board who are actually contributing to the sim racing side is invaluable to me. So I really thank all of those guys for stepping up for those things.
Yeah, and I'm sure they, like me, would like to thank you for putting on this huge freaking grid, 82 cars. So
yeah.
Yeah, looking forward to it, Jeff. Yeah,
It's going to be great. I can't wait.
it's going to be great indeed. Well, that is all that Jeff and I have. That's all the info you're getting for Jeff at the moment. I'm sure there'll be more in the future. But for now, it's time to hand back to the studio, to Kain and I, so we can get quali underway and see just how well everyone's getting on. So for now, thank you very much, Jeff, and we'll see you on track.
See you later.